The Israel-Iran war ended as abruptly as it began. Iran and Israel agreed to a ceasefire, which was announced by the US president following mediation by the Qatari government. But now a new report has shed light on why the US may have perhaps asked Iran for a truce. According to reports, 70% of the missiles which Iran used were its older generation of missiles, while its deadlier, next generation, newer missiles saw minimal use. The report states that Iran mostly used Kader and Imad missiles against Israel. Kader is an improved version of the Shahab 3 medium-range ballistic missile, which has been in Iranian service since 2003. The missile comes in 3 variants and has a range between 1350 to 1950 kilometers and carries a payload of 650 kilograms. Then the Imad ballistic missile is an upgraded variant of Kader and comes with enhanced guidance and accuracy. Commissioned in late 2015, the Imad missile, they have a range of 1700 kilometers and carry a payload of 750 kilograms. But even these older missiles demonstrated remarkable accuracy and penetrated Israeli air defenses, causing widespread damage and destruction across Israel. From capital Tel Aviv to Haifa, Ramat Gan and Beersheba, several Israeli cities were witness to Iranian strikes, reducing buildings to a clump of twisted metal bars and debris, driving home the power of Iranian missiles.
נופל ב-100%.
Even US President Donald Trump acknowledged the scale of the destruction. Speaking at the NATO summit earlier in the week, Trump said that Iran fought like hell and it wasn't easy to stop either Iran or Israel.
They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like 2 kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes, then it's easy to stop them.
And this brings us to an interesting question here. Why did Iran hold back from using its newer and more powerful lethal missiles? Iranian missile arsenal consists of ballistic missiles like the Sejil 2, Fateh 1, Khyber Shekan, which have a range of somewhere close to 2,000 kilometers, and they carry payloads up to 700 kilograms. Reports suggest that Iran may actually be preparing for a long protracted war with Israel and intends to gradually introduce its diverse missile arsenal. While it remains unclear whether the scale and scope of damage unleashed by Iranian missiles pushed the US to seek for a ceasefire, but what is undisputed is that Iran managed to evade Israeli air defenses even with their older first-generation missiles, and it may have far more lethal and newer age missiles in its arsenal. And earlier I had spoken with Chris Doyle, who's the director of CABU, Council for Arab-British Understanding. He weighed in on the current situation, on why perhaps US called for a ceasefire. Here are his thoughts. Listen.
Well, I think they're high because Israel now knows that it has still air supremacy. It'll take a long time for the Iranians to build back air defenses. So the Israelis have demonstrated they can do it, that they can get there. So if they need, in their view, to carry out a strike, let's say if they see movement of nuclear materials, then I don't think they will feel quite as constrained as they would have done a couple of years ago. That said, I do think that there are also important dynamics towards getting back to the negotiating table, that the United States and Iran, once this has calmed down a little bit, do have an interest, both of them, in coming to some form of deal. The big question in all of this is, Israel, is it going to accept that?